Welcome back to What She Said Sports. All right. It is the nighttime edition of What She Said Sports. We know training camp, day one for the Cleveland Browns has begun. We're going to give people a chance to join us. We might even play a little music, just set the vibe to talk. Um, we made it. Mama, we made it. When I made the thumbnail for Shedeur for today, I wanted to say, Mama, we made it, right? This young man went from being first overall to pushed down to 144. He's going to get cut. They thought he's going to get cut before we got here, right? They knew they had too many people, but see what happened? He balled out. He showed he was the absolute best, and he made it to training camp, and he gonna keep making it. Right? He's the best quarterback that they have in Cleveland. So tonight we're talking about Shedeur has arrived to training camp. I think I saw Mason Graham. They talked about Dylan Sampson has arrived. That's the running back. So they're talking about different people that arrived. We're talking about Shedeur Sanders, and one of the goals of training camp is to build cohesion as a team, to build a bond, right? So with the rookies coming in first, they get to bond together. At this point, it doesn't matter where you were picked. That no longer matters, right? For people on the outside looking in, they might still feel like, oh, he's a fifth round pick. Okay, he proved he wasn't, and nobody cares because at this moment, from this moment on, the bond you build with the team, the skills you present on the field, learning the playbook, your weight training, your regimen, your diet, your attitude, the bond, all that determines your altitude. And we know Shedeur is a stand-up guy. We know that already. We already saw he won over the locker room. We saw players gravitating towards him already. We know that the second, third, and fourth team were happy to be the ones to be on the receiving end of the passes. We know when it was offense and defense, he still did well. Nothing could hold this kid back. Absolutely nothing. So he made it to training camp, right? So that's what we're talking about tonight. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And hey, Bumpy, how you doing? Yep, we made it. We made it. We made it, right? We made it. We absolutely made it. Freeman, thank you so much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. We made it. We made it, right? Now, the first preseason game, we talked about this on the members podcast, is August the 8th in Charlotte. So if you're anywhere near the Charlotte area, I think it'll be great to get there, get to see up in person, but it's also a reunion for pro Colorado Buffs. Forever Buffs. Jimmy Horn Jr. plays for the Panthers, was wide receiver for the Buffs for Shedeur. They had a bond. I actually believe had Shedeur been drafted like he was supposed to be, like he was projected to be, Jimmy and Shedeur will probably be on the same team. That's really what I think. So we're going to talk about the expectations for Shedeur Sanders along with some other things. So I'm going to flash the topic on the screen and y'all can pretty much just start sharing in the comments what you think. What do you believe are the expectations for Shedeur Sanders in training camp? NFL preseason 2025 is officially over. This is day one. What do you believe are the expectations for Shedeur Sanders in training camp? While y'all do that, I want to share something. So I don't know if y'all remember the show, not that it's been gone long. If you paid attention to the show called The Facility, drop the hand raise emoji if you remember it, or say I remember it, or whatever. Well, the show got scrapped, right? And if you paid attention to this show, I talked about that show, right? I talked about Chase Daniels, how he pretty much was hater number one, stuck on that haterade, hating on Shedeur. And I'm not the only one. You can go back to the comments when they do episodes, when they did episodes about Shedeur, the numbers were through the roof, right? That was some of their highest rated podcasts when it came to Shedeur. And the comments were very, very engaging. They had good engagement. They had good numbers, but yet they got scrapped. So if you're just joining us, The topic is your expectation for Shedeur Sanders in camp while people formalize their thoughts. I am sharing about the facility being canceled. On this show, I talked about when Shady McCoy got his first jersey, his number 12 jersey. He wanted to get one for everybody. So it seems like they didn't see it coming from the outside. But I'm gonna just say this, right? I talked about on this podcast how the facility was the only big box channel show to come out and verbalize they lied to us about Shedeur. And everybody at that desk from Shady, including Chase, including Emmanuel Acho and James, said, yeah, they lied to us about Shedeur. 30 days later, they gone. Gone. They have some shorts with just a few thousand views. It's like they just cut them off midstream. Now, keep that in mind when we watch this season and we pay attention. So the facility was honest. They were one of the few to be honest. They didn't just parrot what everybody else talked about. In fact, there's an episode where they have Shedeur Sanders being compared to Tom Brady. It is in that episode, you can hear the word, he's not a 5th round pick. We know why he was pushed down. They wanted to prove a point, collusion, right? This show was the only show, whether unknowingly or knowingly, to have the entire cast who are normally opposites and debating opposites, especially Chase. The only show, a unanimous, they lied to us about Shedeur. 30 days later, they are gone. We're going to come back to that. So let me see some of the comments that y'all have in here. I don't know if y'all watched the show, but I'm telling you, I'm not going to bet the farm on it because I need to look into it just a little bit more, because I came on this podcast the day that episode aired. They lied to us about Shedeur. And I said what I'm saying right now. They said that they lied about Shedeur. Nobody else said it. They said it. Unanimous decision, and they're gone. So we're expecting Shady McCoy to pop back up. Chase already had his podcast. We're expecting Shady. People want, before the show was canceled, on the same episode where they compared Shedeur Sanders to Tom Brady, the comments are filled with people saying Shady needs to start his own show. Shady McCoy needs to start his own show. Shady McCoy needs to start his own show. This is the best show out here. This is the best chemistry of a cast that's out here. 30 days later, after comparing Shedeur to Tom Brady and pointing out that they lied to us about Shedeur. In the same episode, Chase Daniels said that coaches lie when it comes to saying that Shedeur Sanders will get an opportunity. Chase Daniels said it. Coaches lie. In other words, he don't see it. He even said they lied to us about Shedeur. And they're gone. Just like that. So our guy made it despite all the negativity. One of his cheering sections, the facility is gone off the air. They just snatched that little show right on out mid-production. And yeah, they gonna say, oh, we changing the lineup. We put this one in front of, we put that. No. I came on here and said I was shocked that they spoke up. And now they're gone. So Shedeur made it to camp. And as the facility pointed out, it is ridiculous to have a 5th round pick, a true 5th round pick, competing for the number 1 spot. And as Chase so eloquently pointed out, coaches lie. So what are your expectations? Realistic. I want you to be realistic. I want you to be honest. I want you to realize that he balled out already and showed Cleveland he was the best quarterback that they have. And coming into training camp, what you're now hearing from the NFL channel, oh, Cleveland want to get a quarterback. They say they're going to choose a quarterback who's good with processing speed, processing time on the plays. Oh, Dylan played a lot in college. He played 6 years. And Shedeur still was the most accurate QB. So they're stacking the deck against Shedeur in Cleveland again. The deck was stacked against him when he got there, and they were not very welcoming. And he moved past that. He got comfortable. He balled out. So he knows coming back into it. He know what kind of environment he's coming into. So you knowing what you know, they keep stacking the deck against him. They keep moving the goalposts. What are your expectations for Shedeur Sanders in training camp with the Cleveland Browns? Let's keep in mind that the Cleveland Browns have had, let me count, I think 10 quarterbacks. The Cleveland Browns have had 10 quarterbacks to start in the last 4 years. 10. Knowing that, what are your expectations for Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland? Because 10 quarterbacks in the last 4 years is a lot. I'll go first. My expectations for Shedeur. Okay, so the areas that they're working on are what? Weight training, cohesion with the team, learning the plays, all of that, right? My expectations are for Shedeur as to what they were from the time he started to ball out in OTAs. You don't have nothing to prove to these people, Shedeur. You don't have nothing to prove to them. They're not giving you a fair opportunity. There is no competition. Jerry Jeudy shared a locker and was forced to share a locker with Joe Flacco. There is no competition. Stay ready. That's the expectation for Shedeur Sanders. Stay ready. He has nothing to prove. He already proved he's the best quarterback he has. People talk about Joe Flacco winning the Super Bowl. Okay, when was the last time he played a full season of games for the NFL? 2017. Kenny Pickett. That's it. Nothing else to say. Nothing else to say. Dylan Gabriel, the guy that sat on the Heisman stage, that the Cleveland Browns also devalued and only drafted him after they pivoted away from Shedeur when the owner came out and publicly scapegoated Deshaun Watson on or about March 31st, 2025, and said, we took a big swing and missed with Deshaun Watson. However, Deshaun Watson has a winning record in Cleveland. And as you can see right here on the screen, let me move myself off for a minute just so you can take a look. Right here tells you the story. Okay. 2021, Baker Mayfield in week 1 started later on in the season. Somebody named Case Neum. Then they had somebody named Nick Mullins. That's 3 quarterbacks in 1 season. How many quarterbacks have the Kansas City Chiefs had since last year before last as a starter? Quarterback. How many quarterbacks have the top 5 teams had in the last 4 or 5 years? Probably 1 or 2. Pat Mahomes been a starter for Kansas City as long as I can remember. And he was drafted not early, and he did not start. He was not supposed to be a starter. 2022, Jacoby Brissett. I don't even know who this is. Then Deshaun Watson started later in the season, right? You can figure out why. Then we go to 2023. Deshaun Watson. And look at all of these quarterbacks. it gets worse as time has gone on. Dorian Thompson Robinson, DTR, who they drafted in the 5th round, that they want to compare Shedeur to. Pay attention, you're going to hear it. DTR started and played all the games in the preseason and he won, but he bombed in the regular season because they set him up to fail. Those are the words that they are scared to hear. They set DTR up to fail from the draft. PJ Walker, now in Canada. Joe Flacco, who they hanging the season on, and he was not available when it counted the most. Why? Because he hasn't played a regular season since when? He has not played a full season since when? He just left the Indianapolis Colts. They supposedly need a quarterback. Why they didn't get him? Why they don't want him? Questions that do not need answers. And Jeff Driscoll, enough said, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Deshaun Watson is 5. Deshaun Watson did not fail in Cleveland. Cleveland failed Deshaun Watson like they failed everybody else on this list. Baker Mayfield wanted out of Cleveland. And then let's go to the 2024 season. Now, I had 5 quarterbacks to start the season. Why they didn't bring Joe Flacco back? Any guess why they didn't bring Joe Flacco back? They had Deshaun again, Jameis Winston, DTR, and somebody else. DTR made his way to Philadelphia, and they got Pickett instead. Jameis Winston is in New York, and the Saints players have verbalized they want him to play in New Orleans. Tyler Shaw, as of whatever time it is, let's see. It is 10:53 Eastern Standard Time on July 18th, has not signed his contract. And they wanted him instead of Shedeur, who actually signed his contract. And he didn't even get drafted to the 4th round. So it didn't matter what that contract said, right? And so now we're going into 2021. So now that you have context on this team, because many of us are new to this team. Unfortunately, I have learned way too much about Cleveland and how they do business than I care to know. So when I ask you, what are the expectations for Shedeur Sanders in training camp for the Cleveland Browns in his rookie year, after looking at the context of is this 10 quarterbacks they have had? Is it 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 quarterbacks start games in 1, 2, 3, 4 years. I'm sharing this because some of y'all have said to me that y'all think if Shedeur go in here and ball out, that he gonna start because he's good. No, that's not what Cleveland is. This right here on the screen, 12 quarterbacks. 12. What's that? 3 quarterbacks on average a year starting? Who has 3 starting quarterbacks and expects to win? Weaponizing instability. And the worst example is right here in 2023. And who is on this team? Joe Flacco. Who on the team right now? Joe Flacco. So you want to see the playbook right here? This is it right here. This is it right here. As of, what time is it again? 10:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on July 18th. The Cleveland Browns have not declared Deshaun Watson ineligible for the season. They have 5 quarterbacks again. Just like 2023, where you see Deshaun Watson, Dorian Thompson, Robinson, DTR, PJ Walker, who won 2 games back-to-back, and they still rotated him to somebody else. Still rotated him. This man won 2 games back to back. And the next game after those 2 consecutive wins, they let somebody else play. That means they didn't want him to deliver the W at the end of the season. Joe Flacco was on the practice squad. So get this. Deshaun Watson, week 1, rotated 11 games between Deshaun, DTR, PJ Walker, right? These 3 rotated 11 games, amassed a 7-4 record. Okay. Joe Flacco was on the practice squad. They went and got him off the practice squad after the first 3, the aforementioned 3, amassed a winning record, turned it over, and handed a winning record to Joe Flacco, who was on the practice squad. And Shedeur got to prove himself. But Joe Flacco came off the practice squad when the other 3 had a winning record between the 3 of them. PJ Walker won all of the games he started in. Why they didn't let him keep going? You see it yet? So there's nothing Shedeur can do but to stay ready for his next team or for everybody on this team to get hurt. Colorado had 1 game where we lost the entire wide receiver core because it can happen. You can lose your starters. You can go all the way down the depth chart for the starters, and you got to go into the second string. Stay ready, Shedeur. So, 12 quarterbacks in 4 years that started. Flacco, they want to repeat the 2023 season with practice squad Joe Flacco, but this time they want Jerry Jeudy to share a locker with him so they could get their chemistry together because he's wide receiver 1. And y'all telling people there's a competition? No, there isn't. There is no competition. And when they get out here, they already want to put Dylan in front of Shedeur, even though Shedeur is better than Dylan, Pickett, and Flacco. I don't see Indianapolis asking Flacco to come back. But Cleveland want to hang its season on Flacco. And let's go to this last little guy here in 2023. Jeff Driscoll. Flacco lost his first game. Not a surprise. But they gave him grace and they let him play and he won the next 4, right? So he won 4 games out of all the games that they played. He got hit in that last game with a little less intensity than Pat Mahomes did in the Super Bowl. If you remember it, you know that was a hit. Flacco got hit kind of in the same manner, maybe just not as intense or not as many people. And he was not available for the most critical game that could have extended their season. Well, that's why you want the guy, right? That's why you went and got him, right? He wasn't available. So this is what they want to repeat. So everything that you hear is a lie. There is no competition. They're going to say any and everything to put Dylan in front of Shedeur. They can speculate all day long. Shedeur doesn't need to prove anything because he proved it already. And now that Shedeur has proven to be the best quarterback in the competition that ended before they broke for the summer, now they're moving off of his skill set and they're going to his cranium. Well, we want the best quarterback with the best processing time. What did Mary Cabot say when we reviewed her content? He can't just think it. He has to do. Excuse me? So you saying he has a problem thinking? Are you trying to go back to that tired trope where they said black players couldn't be quarterbacks because it's a thinking man's position, therefore you want a white quarterback? Is that where you want to go with this? This the hill you want to die on with social media? Because see, this is not 1923. This ain't 1812. If you're going to be so bold as to try to say you don't want Shedeur to be the starting quarterback in Cleveland because he's black and the quarterback is the thinking man's position, the most important position on the team is for a white man, I want you to be bold enough to say it with your chest out and be ready for the consequences because that's what you're doing. Processing speed. Shedeur balled out in front of their eyes and they can't deny it. The facility called it out and said they lied to us about Shedeur. He's a first round quarterback, a QB1 drafted late. We know why he was drafted late. They wanted to prove a point. That ain't why, but okay. And now they're gone. So all that's left are the same parrots to say the same thing. And the NFL page itself is still on that same BS when it comes to Shedeur. They are the ones putting out the narrative. The NFL itself is putting out the narrative about the processing time. They said that's what the Browns said, but they also told us that the Falcons, the man who laptop was supposedly open, worked for the Falcons. I don't think none of that's true. I think the number came straight out of the New York Giants because it's rumored that the caller is the boyfriend of the GM of the New York Giants, the only organization to lie on Shedeur. So the facility was right. They lied to us about Shedeur. And now the facility's gone. 12 quarterbacks in 4 years. So knowing what you now know, because you have been educated, what are your expectations for Shedeur in Cleveland? To me, stay ready. Because every game that you get near, every week that goes by and he don't play, I want y'all to listen. I'm gonna want y'all to listen to the uproar that's gonna happen. People are gonna watch the first game. We got to make it past the preseason. Because see, Cabot already let it spill out before they mandatory minicamp happened. It's out there on one of her little platform. Oh, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of Dylan and Shedeur during the preseason, but not during the regular season. Well, we gonna see. They already put it out there. Yep, DTR played in the preseason, and yeah, but he didn't do good in the regular season. Now, why are they comparing DTR to Shedeur? DTR was drafted in the 5th round. He was supposed to be their franchise QB that they drafted out of the 2nd round at number 53 or something close to it. Who does that? You know who does that? The only organization to have 12 starting quarterbacks over 4 seasons. That's what you call ruining careers. That's what you call weaponizing instability. That's what you call lack of a winning strategy. Every coach, every GM, and anybody else that was associated with these years should no longer be employed with this organization. They do the same thing every season. Hold people back that they draft. They're intentionally drafting to destroy certain people. Can you guess how much melanin they have? So all of this talk you getting ready to hear, you have been educated. Start commenting. Ask them about the 12 starting quarterbacks. And honestly, how many of them still work for this team? Let's see. None but Deshaun. Everybody else came and went. Flacco. Anybody else? They have no longevity. They have no stability. They weaponize instability. They excessively rotate. 2023 was the worst year, but they're going to repeat it. They were supposed to cut somebody when they finished mandatory minicamp. That's where the competition happened. Shedeur locked it down without running with the ones. So they intentionally didn't let that happen so they could come into training camp with the narrative. Well, yeah, we don't know about him. So what you think they're gonna do in training camp? What's the narrative they're gonna leave with training camp? Yeah, well, we don't know about him. They're gonna let him play in the preseason, but that's where they're gonna mess up. Because DTR is not Shedeur. Shedeur was never a fifth round draft pick. Shedeur was and still is a first round, first year starter projected by the NFL. And the NFL is the only outlet, the only league I have ever seen in my life that puts out this type of consistent negativity about their own draft prospect. And it's still out there on their page. That's like Major League Baseball taking one of its best players who could take its league to the next level and on the daily negating this person. So why did you invite him to the draft? The facility was right. They lied about Shedeur. Who is they? Well, maybe that's why the facility is gone. So you don't figure out that they is what did Chase say? Coaches lie. Kevin Stefanski. GMs lie. Andrew Berry. Owners lie too, don't they? Jimmy Haslam. Am I right? Don't let nobody lie to you, but I'm pretty sure that's why they're gone. So that's the expectation for Shedeur Sanders to stay ready. Any game he plays in, any snaps he takes, he is auditioning for his next team. There are only two people still associated with the Cleveland Browns, and one of them will not see the field. So that's just Flacco, who haven't played a full season in 2017. Out of 12 quarterbacks, that's who you choose to value. A part-time quarterback that his last team didn't ask him to come back for. Talk about playing in somebody's face. That's what this is. That's what this is. It's playing in somebody's face. So I shared this earlier. This is a legitimate top 10 list of QBs from the most recent college football season, put together by ESPN, circulated by On3, shared again today by Colin from Life in Football. Who is at the top of this list? We should not even be talking about a competition, because the only reason you were to draft a starting quarterback is because you need a starting quarterback. But Cam Ward is competing. They're not even talking about why he's competing, and they paid him $48 million guaranteed to compete with the guy that failed. Shedeur was supposed to be the number one player out of college. I'm rocking with the Dirty Bird shirt. Yep, that's facts. Hey Tina, how you doing? JD too. To keep balling and keep his feet on their necks. That's it. So let's see. So if y'all don't know if y'all saw the question, because it might have moved by now. But the question was, what are your expectations for Shedeur Sanders? We're going through the comments to read people's responses. What are your expectations for Shedeur Sanders? This is his first rookie year. I'm really excited about it because it's Shedeur, right? We want to see Shedeur ball out. We want to see him make it. Unfortunately, we might have to wait. But then again, God might kick that door in just like he did before, right? Just in the draft, right? So the first person, JD, said Shedeur, the expectation for Shedeur Sanders in training camp with the Browns is to keep balling and keep his feet on their necks. That's it. That's it. He don't have nothing to prove to these people. Just keep balling. Anthony Vance there, remember, she said, I expect him to ball. Will they give him a real shot? That is the question. That is the question. Will they give him a real shot? From what I see, the NFL is already stacking the deck at their terminology, saying that, oh, well, Cleveland wants to get, they want Dylan Gabriel because his processing time is faster. Mary Cabot was with the hopefully Shedeur somewhere learning the plays. That ain't the word she used, but learning the plays. So that because you can't just think about it, you have to do it. So I don't know what they're doing other than collaborating on what to say. I don't know why they're saying this other than to hold him back. If you don't want a starting quarterback, release him. But see, they're not gonna do that either. Hey, Selmo, how you doing? It said it was about Joy Taylor too. It was not about Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor scandal came out hot when, and she worked there all that time. They scrapped that whole damn show. That had nothing to do with Shady. It had nothing to do with Chase. It had nothing to do with James. They want you to think it's about Joy Taylor. They could have fired Joy Taylor the day after and probably should have. That took place. They let her come back, didn't they? They scrapped that show 30 days after the facility was the only show to say out loud. And Chase and Shady McCoy almost got into it because I came on here and told y'all about it. They lied to us about Shedeur because they did. Don't forget, there's $100 million lawsuit that could benefit from that kind of information, right? NFL insiders saying that they lied to us about Shedeur. Yeah, that's why they gone. And it ain't nothing to do with Joy. They could have fired Joy the next day, 24, 48 hours after her scandal broke. Shady McCoy was up there with Shedeur jersey on. People were pointing it out. People say this show is really good PR for Shedeur, and now it's gone. Hey, Queen T, how you doing? Hey, Jerry, how you doing? It said, I've learned from life, expectations set you up for disappointment. I'm hopeful that he is able to perform at a level commensurate with his work at Jackson State and Colorado. Okay. I'll take it. You're right about that, but I'll take it. That boy Wig say the narrative is being set. That's facts. The narrative is already being put out there. The question is, who they trying to convince, themselves or us? Because we know who Shedeur is. You see it right here on your screen. Quarterback number 1, Shedeur Sanders. Quarterback number 2, Cam Ward. Quarterback 3, Carson Beck, who didn't come out of college. Quarterback 4, Jalen Milroe. What does that make quarterback 1, 2, and 3? What do they have in common other than they are football players, that they played ball in college, that they are all in the NFL? They are Black Americans. Top 3, 1, 2, 3, which means the 3 teams that were supposed to pick quarterbacks, if this was truly based on talent, was Tennessee, Cleveland, and the New York Giants. That meant Shedeur, Cam, and Milroe were going Tennessee, Shedeur, Cleveland, Cam, and 3, the Giants, Milroe. Now you see why they had all the musical chairs. What does this also do? Yeah, rookie contracts are cheap when you think about how much quarterbacks make. That's true. But if I keep drafting in the first round, because not every team in the first round need a quarterback, usually the worst ones do, and I keep drafting Black quarterbacks year over year, 3, 3, 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, they're going to eventually become the highest paid. And when I look at the money list, I ain't going to have but 1 or 2 Black guys on it. Who was it that said Jared Goff is now the minority when it comes to quarterbacks? Because everybody else is Black. So what they trying to prevent at QB1? A blackout. Cam Newton said that. And he would know because he's a quarterback. He said itself when he first came in, it wasn't that many. Russell Wilson said the same thing. It wasn't that many. Now, Jared Goff is kind of in the minority. Those guys are getting ready to retire. So if I keep drafting 3, 6, 9 in the class of 26, 27, 28, 29, 3, 6, 9, 12, oh, for sure. Because they're going to make the majority this year. So that means for the next few years, they're going to have to manipulate the quarterbacks to try to preserve whiteness at quarterback. You saw how extreme it was in the draft. It shows you right here, Shedeur was the number one quarterback. I watched a game. They say, yep, he's going to be the number one quarterback coming out of college. He was supposed to be the number one quarterback. The fix was already in number one. Number two, when it became obvious it was going to be him with Carson Beck, we didn't know at what point he was going to stay in school. Him staying in school shifts 1, 2, 3. And y'all think they're going to give him a fair chance now? No. No. Because the agenda of 1732 is still here. What this post proves right here is that he was already the best. And even when they put Cam in front of him, they worked religiously to put Cam in front of him, but they didn't talk about Cam. So it didn't make sense to people. How you don't want to say he the best one, but you don't even talk about him? Are they talking about him now? And he still went number one. Suppressing the blackness at the quarterback position is why they don't talk about Cam. You really think they're going to give Shedeur Sanders a fair shot? The facility pointed out the truth. He's not a 5th round pick. You want to keep saying that, but it don't make it true. His talent, he proved it. He proved it before they broke for the summer, before they went into the offseason. He proved it. He's a 1st round pick. He's the best QB that Cleveland has. And now they want to talk about processing time. Moving the goalpost. I think we all know Shedeur needs to be undeniable to get that starting job. And the haters are real, but watch it happen. It's going to happen, but it ain't going to be because he knocking himself out. He didn't knock himself out in the draft and the door open. It's going to be godly. That's what it's going to be. That's exactly what it's going to be. That's why I say stay ready. Stay ready. Like Prime said, finish strong. That's it. Yep. Shedeur said it when he went to camp. He said, I go out here to prove to me. And that's what he gonna do. He gonna learn his plays. I watched the video of Shedeur at Jackson State. They had gotten together and gone to a homecoming event. In the video, he is heard saying, yep, I'm out here from 7 at 8. I'm going to read my playbook. The people that know Shedeur know that that's all he did. That's all he did. He keep a football in his hand. He always watching film. They are underestimating this young man, even though they know who he is. They are discounting him intentionally. They have already stacked the deck before day 1 of training camp. Queen T said they need to release Shedeur if they feel like that. Right. Why won't they do it? If they do, it'll be too late for him to learn somebody else's playbook. That boy, Kenny Pickett, that's it. Nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say. Nothing. Hit the like button for me, Political Lil, holding it down. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Gracie back. All right. Hit the like button for me, guys. Just take a minute. Look at the like button. Make sure it's pressed. Thank you so much. I expect Legendary to dispel the wholesale lie, misnomer, and myth about Black QBs having lower cognitive thinking than their white counterparts. Now, if they didn't believe with Michael Vick, if they didn't believe with Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes is also Black. If they didn't believe with Jalen Hurts going to the Super Bowl twice in the last 5 years and winning once, Jaden Daniels, a rookie balling out, Russell Wilson being traumatized in Denver, then going to Pittsburgh, being QB2, ascending to QB1, and then taking his team to the playoffs, and then being pushed out of there, and then could do the same thing in New York. Shedeur Sanders, number 1 overall QB, until folks started meddling and manipulating so that he could fall to Cleveland, who did what? Pre-draft with him extensively and use who? Another Black quarterback, Deshaun Watson, to scapegoat him. Just like right now. Oh, DTR played all the preseason games and he did really well, but he bombed out in the regular season. They already trying to tell you, yeah, we know Shedeur good. He probably gonna go in here and win all these preseason games, but he ain't gonna do good in the regular season. But is he gonna get the opportunity to show us that? When I listen to Chase Daniels say, yeah, but the regular season is different. He might do well in the preseason, but you know, the stress of what? The stress. You know what the stress of being sacked 54 times is and still being the most accurate damn quarterback coming out of college, despite your own O-line selling you up the damn river, and you still make it happen? Now that's stress for you. Oh, it's gonna be so hard. Jaden Daniels did it. Maybe it's hard for you. Oh, it's gonna be too stressful. CJ Stroud damn near did it until people say the ref cheated the Texans out of it because they preferred the Kansas City Chiefs to move on. And did some refs get fired? The ones associated with Kansas City games? Maybe Bryce Young could have did it, but the Carolina Panthers just let him get sacked by 60 some odd times. Maybe Justin Fields could have did it. They set him up and had him sacked excessively also. Funny how no young white rookie quarterbacks get sacked excessively. Just interesting. Just the black Heisman winners. Like Lamar Jackson pushed down in the draft the number 32, but he is about to win what? He's going to win his third MVP, but they cheated him and gave it to the second best person, which meant talent didn't matter. Then they did it again in the draft and bypassed the number one quarterback in the draft, bumped him down to number two to a losing organization that has no strategy and is not interested in winning. Built him up, reeled him in, pre-draft extensively, dropped him like a bad Tinder date, and then acted like, yeah, we don't know you. But then had the audacity to say, you know what? I remember you. Yeah, you just wasn't that good. And blamed another black man for it. What's happening with Gabriel and Watson allegations? People keep talking about it, but I don't know what y'all talking about. You're going to need to drop me a link. I like people. You keep coming my comments and say something. I'm gonna need a link. Otherwise, I don't know. IDK. That boy with 12 quarterbacks, 12 quarterbacks starting in 4 years. Definition of an unstable organization. Why are the Browns allowed to be this inept? Why are they allowed to destroy people's career? This is negligence. Why are they allowed to do this? Were they the organization selected as a dumping ground to destroy people's careers? I don't know. Explain it. I wish somebody would explain it because it's not making any sense. This is not how you run a business. You should even be allowed to do this. You can't win with this type of instability. Yeah, we know. Oh, okay. Kevin S. is unstable. Shedeur is expected to demonstrate accuracy, leadership, confidence, and a strong work ethic, grabs the playbook, displays spatial awareness, along with the ability to execute plays. All right. And he probably gonna check off every box because that don't sound like nothing new. Thank you for that, Salafi. Thank you. Oh, he said with precision, right? Let me tell you what Shedeur is expected to be. Perfect. Whereas others can make mistakes. Pickett can be Pickett. Flacco can be part-time and haven't played a full season. He was allowed to go out there and lose the first game, but got an opportunity to win others. Whereas PJ Walker won 2 games back to back, and they still rotated to the next quarterback. Did winning matter? No, because winning is not the criteria for who the quarterback gonna be. So Shedeur gonna have to be perfect, and it ain't gonna matter. That's why Shedeur is growing in his faith, because that's what he gonna need to survive in Cleveland. The Browns don't give a damn about winning. That's what it shows. I think show me another top 5 team that has had 12, 12 starting quarterbacks in 4 years. Is all of this under Kevin Stefanski's watch? That's the question. And that might explain why people were asking, is Kevin Stefanski a good coach? Is that why people were starting to ask that question? See, I'm not going to sit up here and profess to be a Browns fan. I'm here because of Shedeur. And as an educated and educated woman and an intellect and a lover of sports, including football, who grew up with the Saints, a cheerleader, I just don't get it. I have never seen anything like this before. See, people think when players come to the NFL that that's their only knowledge of how the game is played, how the system works, that we don't know that talent matters. Talent is what got these players to the NFL. But sadly, the NFL want to move away from talent. And then they want you to accept the fact that it's no longer about talent. They want fans to pay good money to see a preference on the field. They want fans to pay good money year over year over year to see this type of instability in Cleveland and expect Cleveland to win. I'm convinced the fans in Cleveland just want somewhere to go on game day. This is why they don't have primetime games. This is why. Nobody expects them to win. This is why Cleveland was allowed to get Shedeur, not draft him, because nobody could draft him because he wasn't on the board. So they got told what to do, which is why they were upset when they got him, because they already played him. See, they thought they played him. The owner cut bait publicly on March 31st. They thought that was it. The last thing they expected was a phone call. You need to get Shedeur. Don't ask me. We'll talk about it later. That's why they look like that. And that's why Andrew Berry, every moment he gets, tries to discount Shedeur because his job should be in jeopardy. But he works for an organization that has had 12 starting quarterbacks since 2021. Imagine working somewhere and you have 12 bosses. Do you understand the damn instability of that? Everything changes with every boss. I think they have to a certain date before they can declare he can't play. You talking about Deshaun Watson? There are teams that are already declaring people ineligible for the season. The Cleveland Browns, some people associated with the Browns have insisted he has played his last snap with the Browns. So why is he not declared ineligible? If he has played his last snap, you already know he's not going to play. So what's the charades about? Because that's what it is. Welcome, welcome, welcome from Atlanta. I appreciate you. And luckily, you mentioned earlier, the teams that play, they said initially he stands in the pocket and gets sacked. He throws touchdowns. Then they try to assassinate his character. Right. Because why? Because just like the NFL tried to assassinate Shedeur Sanders' character on CU Pro Day by sending announcers that did nothing but talk about tapping the ball. And what's this? What tapping the ball? And then what came out? The greats tapped the ball. Who did the facility compare Shedeur to? Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Right? So what happened is they tried to find something wrong with Shedeur, right? They halfway admitted that what happened in Colorado was environmental. Coach Prime said it, we just couldn't protect him. That's what it was. So they halfway admitted that, right? So what they did was in OTAs, they said, he drifts backward out the pocket. The greats drift backwards. out the pockets. Quarterbacks don't just stand still. You try to throw people off and all this, that, and the other. You can Google it. The greats drift backward out the pocket. That's what they do. So we had to move off of that because why? Drifting backwards out the pocket, he still was the best. He still was the best. So now it's his processing time. And they're not saying that he is this bad. They're saying we want Dylan because his processing speed and good. Here's why they want Dylan. Cleveland has set up a run-heavy offense. So if you set up a run-heavy offense already out of the draft with your 2 running backs, you didn't get no receivers, you didn't get an O-line. Why the hell were you pre-drafting extensively with Shedeur? Because you don't need him for a run-heavy offense. Dylan with his short stature is who you want. And you don't value him because he just going to hand off the damn ball to the running back. But see, one of them is MIA. Quinshon Judkins is reported, did not report to camp. So I guess that's going to be Jerome Ford or Dylan Sampson. So they're going to have to work on that in training because I do believe it's been reported that Quinshon has to work out his legal issues first. So I don't think we're going to expect to see him. And for all that they tried to make Shedeur look like a serial killer because he got 2 parking tickets, things keep happening. Now there's another player in the league, Rashid Rice. Something happened with his situation, and it's serious. I think what we're seeing now is Quinshon Judkins' case was serious. 2 speeding tickets were not. It was more serious for Shedeur because it told people that know him, oh shit, his awareness is waning. He's also, like his father, negatively affected from the draft, but they didn't want to talk about that. The same reason the facility's gone. They didn't want to talk about the truth. That's why the facility's gone. Perfect timing. Yep. So it's just one of those things, where the expectation is for Shedeur to ball out, stay ready, learn your playbook, bond with your teammates. Something he had to do at Jackson State because he was one of the first people to come, basically, because Shiloh was still at South Carolina, I think, or that's when Shiloh came. But when Shedeur went to Jackson State, he was the new kid on the block. He had to bond with the team. Go watch the videos. He did a damn good job. This is old hat. When he went to high school, he had to bond with those kids. When he went to Jackson State, he had to bond with them. When he went to Colorado, he had to bond with whoever it was, whether they came in as Louis luggage. They were a few people like Charlie Offerdahl who were already there. So bonding with people isn't anything that's going to be a problem for him, right? He has over 3 million fans and followers for a reason. He has fans from other ball clubs. So that's what it is. So now we're going to move on to our next question that I have. Latest V Scott said, I see it and I'm not surprised. The drama continues with the Browns and the NFL, aka the last slave owners. That's what it is. It's 4 teams. I say 4. People don't know if we should include Tennessee in it or not. But if you look at the teams that are problematic in the league, right? Especially at the bottom, they have one thing in common when it comes to black quarterbacks. And look at how they behaved in this draft. Look at how Tennessee has treated its black quarterbacks. Look at how Steve McNair, how they treated him. This man took them to the Super Bowl. They almost won, right? In the next season, they broke up everything. They didn't give him the opportunity to try it again. So did you not want me to get there the first time? Lamar Jackson, almost. Steve McNair, almost. They keep getting people for Lamar Jackson to throw to, right? But when it's crucial and crunch time, they don't throw to the people they brought in for Lamar Jackson to throw to. Does it make sense? Then there's the Saints. Enough said. And then there's the New York Giants. So there was no way in hell with the first three quarterbacks coming out of college with Carson Beck staying in school, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, and Jalen Milroe. Y'all think Jalen Milroe was gonna go to the Giants? Hell no. Not because Jalen Milroe's not good, because the Giants have never had a black starting quarterback to this day. What time is it? 11:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on July 18th. The New York Giants has never had a black starting quarterback, so it wasn't going to be Milroe. Cleveland didn't want Cam Ward. Cleveland didn't want Russell Wilson. They interviewed with Russell Wilson. Cleveland didn't want to get nobody else. And then there's Shedeur. He could have went to Tennessee, right? As the number 16 black starting quarterback. Why y'all think that didn't happen? Because the story didn't work. The same defamatory lies. He's entitled. He has an entourage. It didn't work with Cam. Cam is quiet, low key. They ain't talk about him. So that's why he's 16. We ain't gonna talk about you. You ain't got nothing to talk about. We ain't gonna talk about you. You ain't gonna take up no space. But Shedeur will. Send him to Cleveland. They crowded, bury him on the death chart, and his fans will just go away. That's really what they think. And Milroe is buried in Seattle for 2 years, they think, behind Sam Darnold for the sole purpose. The only reason they think Milroe can't play for 2 years. Oh, we paid Sam Darnold $100 million, so Milroe ain't going to see the field for 2 years. What? I'm like, okay, so the unexpected don't happen. All right. Okay. That's exactly how Jalen Hurts got his starting job. He was second round, number 53, and somebody got hurt. All right, so I had another question for y'all. So let's move on to it. I feel like it's a good question based on what we talked about, realistic expectations. This is the question. Based on your realistic expectations and everything that we talked about, when will Shedeur Sanders get first team reps with the Cleveland Browns this season? 276 of us hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. We're on our way to 4,000 subs, so you could be the lucky 89. So let's see if y'all could get us 50 followers while we in here. There's a lot of people. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out. All right, the question is, when will Shedeur Sanders get first team reps realistically? Do y'all think it's going to be in week 1? Now, mind you, they're in camp. They have at least 8 or 9 open practices. We'll talk about them later. How long does it last? Because the first game is August 8th. So we have from, oh, hell, not long. They don't have long. Oh, we instead of, is it going to be the first week? Is it going to be the third day? I'll say first week or second week. Do y'all think Shedeur Sanders will get first team reps in the first week? Now, remember, in case you missed it, when we left off, Shedeur Sanders worked out with the 4s, the 3s, and the 2s, publicly and privately, right? Meaning open practice and closed practices. Now, it was, I guess, a disagreement. Kevin Stefanski said he threw with the ones on closed practice, meaning the public didn't see it. They didn't let us see it. People start asking, why are y'all hiding with Shedeur? Then somebody else said it never happened. So we gonna let them point fingers and argue. 4 3s and 2s is what we saw, what we know about. He was the best QB they had. He can make 4 3s and 2s look like 1s. That's that guy. That means that's him, right? So the question is, if it's 2 weeks, is it 3 weeks, 4 weeks? If we got 4 weeks, 30 days. I don't think we got 30 days. I think we got about 3 weeks. When do you think Shedeur gets first team reps? Week 1, week 2? If there's a week 3, week 3, let me know. Let's see. Wild Dog Media, 2 likes from my house. Okay, y'all. So greetings from Ghana. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are witnessing the politics of control. Facts. Cleveland market is too small. Too much ugliness. Shedeur should sit and be benched. Yep. Okay. I wish we had collaborated in this show. Wild Dog Media. Okay. Hey, we might get there. I think we might get there. This was a good one. This was a good one. Hit the like button. It's free. It says Shedeur earned QB1 Trinity Preparatory Academy and Jackson State University. Yeah, I think people are uh really just trying hard to preserve whiteness at the QB1 position. It's becoming obvious every day. I mean, when you got to get rid of the facility because they told the truth, what you gonna do next? Right? What you gonna do next? That means that you desperate. All right, so here we go. It said Shedeur is gonna get first team reps on day 2. Okay, so reality checks said day 2. And then let's see, Michael Smith said Shedeur will get first team reps by the first scrimmage. Okay, by the first scrimmage. Okay, I'm gonna start these because we might need to come back to it. Okay, the first scrimmage, I'll see how many I can start. And 3 times said the first week. Okay, the first week. And Miss Pamela said week 2. Okay, so no, there's nobody that thinks except for 3 times that it's truly the first week. Somebody also said the first scrimmage. It said the ones wanted to see Shedeur. Yeah, I heard that. I heard the ones wanted to see Shedeur, and they knew that he was being held back. Somebody knew somebody, right? A friend of a friend knew somebody that played for Cleveland, and they said it. They holding him back. And then they told the person, but don't share this on social media. So I don't know. Of course, we didn't know who it was, but that told you that the ones on the inside, they knew they were kind of being pushed into other areas, kind of like forcing Jerry Judy to share a locker. It was said that CeeDee Lamb was damn near, he had to wear number 88, or he was asked to wear number 88 by the owners. Does he wear number 88? Does anybody know what number CeeDee Lamb wear? And if that's true, and he's wearing number 88, it tells you when you're a starter, they feel like they can navigate you to the decision that they want. That's like Jerry Judy being forced to share a locker with Joe Flacco. Why would you have your best receiver share lockers with this quarterback who you say Kenny Pickett is a starter at the time? Because you knew it was going to be Flacco all along. And if it's true that CeeDee Lamb wears 88, the story is the owner of the team wanted him to wear it because it reminded him of somebody or something. I'm like, what? Isn't that Michael Irvin's number or something like that? I don't remember. Okay. Each one, teach one. The first week, okay? And Max said he thinks week 3, whatever the last week of camp is. Freeman Harris said week 1. Okay. Cleveland Media's bye week is week 9, the first week of November. Okay. 3 times said the first week. Sabrina said he'll be QB1 in week 2. Are you talking about week 2 of the regular season, or are we talking training camp? Let me know, Sabrina. Clarify for me. Are you talking about week 2 of training camp? I'm gonna star your comment. Thank you. It says Shedeur gets first team reps when they close to shut down the media from watching. Yeah. And we're talking about, let us know when you think he'll get them in training camp publicly. They have 8 open practices. I think it's 8. Yeah, they have 8. I think it's 8 open practices. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 8. And each of them have a theme. So they're trying to have fun with it, I guess. And they let the season ticket holders get like 4 tickets each, and then they open them to the public. Michael Smith says Shedeur is a true competitor and baller. If AKA Kev wants his job, he will let Shedeur play. Okay, Michael Smith. Okay. It said, I think he has already had first team reps. No general goes to the shooting range a day prior to engaging in combat. They train like they're going to fight. So when the occasion rises, they were ready. I mean, I agree with that. It said they hard pressed. They gonna let him QB by week 1. Okay. Michael Smith said he is number 88. That's interesting. Okay. I guess if that's true, that tells you everything. Hopefully he chose that number. Jackie Chu said she thinks it's gonna be week 2. So a lot of people think it's gonna be week 2 or week 3. If there's 3 weeks of training camp, people believe that Shedeur Sanders will get first team reps later rather than sooner. So you don't think it's gonna happen by week 1. Thank you, Regina. Regina said he does wear 88 also. Too much drama and lies about the QB competition. But see, that's just it. It's not even a competition. That's why it's not really a competition. They already working on the perception that they want to spin as reality for preseason games. That means they already know what they're gonna do in training camp. Oh yeah, DTR played all the games. Why are you using DTR? You have had 12 quarterbacks to come through preseason. Why is DTR your only example of what happened in preseason? Why are you constantly pitting these black quarterbacks against Shedeur? 12 quarterbacks. And all you could say is DTR, who was a 5th round pick. Shedeur is not a 5th round pick. So that little subliminal trick don't work. That's why the facility's gone. Shedeur Sanders is not a 5th round pick. The facility was right. They lied about Shedeur, which helps that $100 million case that's out there. That's why the facility's gone. Why do you think the leader of the NFL Players Association resigned? Because he was wrong. Okay, Sabrina said it was training camp. Okay, it said after they come back from London. Okay, so you think after they come, well, no, we were talking about training camp, but I get it. Lady V 1960 said after they come back from London, she thinks they're gonna let him start in the regular season. But thank you for that. Preseason week 2. Miss Pamela said it's gonna be preseason week 2 against Philadelphia. That's when they're gonna let Shedeur start against Jalen Hurts. Okay. So the first quarterback he faces is Bryce Young. I think they're gonna let him start against Bryce Young, Jalen Hurts. Who else they play? If I look and see who the quarterbacks are, I'm gonna tell you. This is easier to guess than you realize. Miss Pamela, preseason week 2 against Philadelphia. All right, that's what she said. Lamb is 88. I hope that story not true. He's with the Cowboys. Yeah, I know. I know. I like him. I know. When I heard the story about that jersey number, though, I was like, what? But that's what I noticed, right? See, when you get to be, it gives you the impression, right? I like all of the other positions. I only give the quarterbacks the hard time. But as you can see with this situation with Cleveland, they tried to steer Jerry Jeudy as to who he should be connecting with. Well, then how's it a competition if wide receiver 1 is forced to share a locker with Joe Flacco? That's what I mean. It's not a competition, right? How does CeeDee Lamb have any autonomy if he wanted number 87 and the owner comes up to him, the owner, the one that drafted him, the one that he likely feels some type of indebtedness to, comes to him and is like, yeah, I want you to wear number 88 because it reminds me of somebody. I don't know, Tom Landry or something. Maybe he wore the number 2. I don't know, but it's a story. And he wear it. Kind of like what happened? The Falcons. The new coach, that guy, I forgot his name, was told that he could pick who he wanted to get in the draft for a quarterback, and he got Michael Penix Jr. Right? And what happened? The owner said, okay, that's cool. I want to get Kirk Cousins, but I'm going to let you decide who to start. That's an inequity of power. That's an imbalance of power. These people really don't have no power on any level. Mike Tomlin don't have no power. I cannot remember the name of the coach for the Falcons. Don't have no power. Hell, CeeDee Lamb didn't have none. If it's true what they said about how he got that number 88, he don't have none. Jerry Judy don't have no power. If it's true, it is true because he actually said it in the article. Judy don't have no power and autonomy because he's forced to share a locker with Joe Flacco, who's supposed to be competing with 3 other people for a spot, but wide receiver one. Mind you, they were supposed to get wide receivers in the draft. They did not. They going with a run game. When Shedeur get out there, they gonna make him hand off the ball. Just like Tennessee, when it came to Steve McNair in his last season, they turned him into away from air McNair to hand off a ground McNair. They're going to do the same thing to Shedeur. Watch what I tell you. We're going to be out there. They're going to be like, oh my God, Shedeur finally going to be in the game. Hut. They're going to hand it off. They're not going to let him shine. If so, something dramatically has changed behind the scenes and it has not yet. And if it's dramatic, you're going to hear about it. So you're going to see him in the preseason, I do believe. Yep, facility is a sports show. It was. They got canceled. It got canceled. Can someone help me on what I can help you, Freeman. The facility was a show on Fox Sports 1 FS1. I think it was the same network that Undisputed was on at one time. They canceled the show like that abruptly. So that's what I meant by the facility. A lot of people watched the show. There were 4 hosts, 3 black, 1 white. It was Shady McCoy, Emmanuel Acho, James Pierce. Was that his last name? James. And Chase Daniel. So the 4 that were on the show, it had good numbers. Fans loved it. But they got honest about Shedeur, being that the media was lied to about Shedeur, that he's not a 5th round pick. He's a 1st round pick in the 5th round. And we know why that happened, because they wanted to teach him a lesson. And a whole lot of other things. There's an episode out there where they compare Shedeur to Tom Brady. So 30 days after that, they out of there. With today's independent media and social media, it will be better for them to tank. It'll be what? It said, with today's independent media and social media coverage, it will be harder for them to tank the season and keep the defense and veteran players silent. Okay, so this is what Cleveland is planning. All right. So I already told you the quarterback situation. How many quarterbacks in the last, 4 years? 21 through 24. So 4 seasons, 12 quarterbacks starting. Okay. So we already say they're going to repeat the 2023 season because they overcrowded. This is how they sidestepped naming a true starter for playing the majority of the season. The definition of a QB1 in the NFL is the person who plays the most games. That's why New York has never had a black QB1, right? So New York could essentially do the same thing. They said Russ was going to be the starter right after they drafted Jackson Dart, but they could essentially rotate all 4 quarterbacks that they have, and none of them emerge as the starter, and they just name the one that they kind of want to say, well, he played 1 game more than the other ones, even though it wasn't a majority. He played 5, they played 4, he's the starter. That's how they do that. So it looks like we're getting ready for this again. So we were talking about when would Shedeur get first team reps, right? And most people are saying if it's 3 weeks of training camp, then it's going to be the 2nd or 3rd week. There are a few people that have said they believe it'll be in the first few days of camp. There are 8 practices that are open. So somebody alluded to the fact that for the closed practices, that's when he's going to get first team reps. But when the public has a chance to see, we're not going to see him throw with the ones until week 2 or 3. Or until the media starts fussing about it, until the fans show up and start asking. And that's likely what's going to happen. And I think they're already anticipating it, right? So you're going to see him in the preseason. So, that's just what, what it is. So So they want to tank, right? So Andrew Berry has been, it's reported, Andrew Berry wants to get who? Dylan Gabriel. No, Andrew Berry wants to get his franchise quarterback next year. So Andrew Berry wants to draft again. He drafted two quarterbacks, but now he want to draft again and get somebody in the top three, like Cade, I think, or Nussmeyer or something like that. Which is retarded because which is ridiculous because why? He is the person that drafted Dylan Gabriel. Take Shedeur out the situation. Why did you draft Dylan Gabriel if you want to draft again? So you don't consider Dylan Gabriel your franchise QB. You don't even think he gonna ever get to that point. So you want to tank the season, which is why you didn't get receivers, which is why you didn't get O linemen. You want to tank the season what you have at quarterback so you can get somebody else next year. What? Can you imagine a kid coming out of college learning about all this and going, I don't want to go there? Should they even be allowed? Should Cleveland be allowed to draft another quarterback next year? Honestly, let me know your answer because that's what they want to do. So Stefanski is supposedly have told the media in Cleveland that he wants Dylan Gabriel. So that's why you hear the NFL on their channel pushing Dylan Gabriel because Cleveland wants the quarterback with the better processing, as if Shedeur don't have the ability to process plays. So that's where they are. That's where they are. So they getting ready to go through two more quarterbacks. These two are not the two they want. They want to get somebody else next year. So that means not only is Shedeur not their solution for the future, neither is Dylan. That means Dylan is relegated to a backup for all of his time in Cleveland. He will never emerge as a starter. So here's the thing, they screwing him over too. They keep acting like, oh, we're going to choose you over Shedeur. Good. Let Shedeur get the hell on. Let Shedeur get the hell on because what they're doing to Dylan is taking him and wanting to put him in a run-heavy offense and pass off the ball to the running back. And they want to say, we want you and not Shedeur. Shedeur is not even a good fit for Cleveland if they want a run-heavy offense. And that's what they have set up. So trying to pull Dylan close and push Shedeur down is essentially opening the cage and letting Shedeur out because they think obviously he barks plays to Shiloh at the same house when they're at their dad's. I don't know. So Cleveland already know what they want to do now. Training camp, preseason, the regular season, and the 2026 draft. And it does not involve Shedeur being there beyond this season. And Dylan is already deemed the backup. Talking about Dylan competing with Shedeur. I'm just waiting on them to let Shedeur go. Oh, okay, Regina. Thank you so much. Dusty said the facility is sports. So yeah. Thank y'all for filling in Freeman. I appreciate it. It said, Mac, the only thing holding it up is Flacco. He needs to just retire. He was already sitting down. What did Flacco say? I'm trying to keep my job as long as I can. What the media refuses to say is Flacco has not played a full season since 2017. He can't play a full season. They got to pick. Are we going to let him start? Or are we going to see? The goal is, do you want to win? No, we're not trying to win. Oh, well, if we're not trying to win, Flacco, we just let Flacco play all the games for a little bit. We could rotate all of them because that's what they did before. They're not trying to win. That's a waste of Shedeur's time and talent. I'm just waiting for the door to swing wide open. It said all Dallas receivers that Dallas think is going to be great, they want to wear 88 Michael Irvin. Shouldn't they get to pick their own damn jersey number? If he want to wear number 88, he can. But for owner to ask you to wear a number, why is that? No, it might look like it's a good thing, but what it's doing is what? It's stripping you of your autonomy. That's like making Jerry Judy share a locker with Flacco. Yeah. Facility came over from Speak. The crew, Freeman. Oh, okay. They're telling him what the show is. I appreciate that. Wild Dog laughing about week 9, the bye week. The Browns are stubborn. Oh, you think he gonna get in there by week 9? Everybody gonna have to be hurt first. It said, what I'm saying is they messed up. You can't have a 5th round start with only 4 million and everybody else getting more. The lawsuit gonna be lit. It's called lightning in a bottle. The NFL has a concept of what they call, when it comes to quarterbacks, getting them on the cheap, devaluing them. Lightning in a bottle. Getting Shedeur, who was what? First overall projection, before people decided, oh no, we can't have this. This ain't gonna work with him. He gotta go second. Somebody else gotta go first. Right? So I know what we could do. Let's just push him down. And then we'll get him for $4 million because he's devalued. The NFL is documented. They badly, poorly, they discriminate against black quarterbacks in the draft all the time. This ain't new, right? But with Shedeur, we're gonna push him all the way down and we're gonna get him for $4 million. Now, everything that you hear them saying could be a ruse, and they could put him out there on day one. He be the starter, take them to the Super Bowl for $4 million. Lightning in a bottle. That is also wrong and unethical. And yes, it will trigger a lawsuit. You absolutely right. So yeah, that's what that's what they working towards. So they clearly are playing in Dylan's face, and I think he might be a little bit too blinded behind wanting this really badly. Feeling like if it's not this, it's not gonna be anything else because I was already a Heisman candidate, already drafted late. I gotta compete with Shedeur. So yeah, I'm happy that they like me. When it was said that Andrew Berry wants to draft his quarterback next year, that means Dylan and Shedeur are not their future. Neither one of them are expected to be starters. That's why they still have Flacco and Pickett. That's why. All right, y'all, we're going to get ready to get out of here. This was, I'm excited for Shedeur. He made it to somewhere that he been wanting to go to for a long time. I can't imagine what it's like when your dad plays in the league and you want to get there and you end up in this situation. And we watched him navigate through it, not expecting it, but actually being treated just like he was in the draft. But this time Cleveland is in on it, and it likely filled in a lot of gaps in his thought process, right? What did Stefanski say when they called Shedeur? He said, I told you God works in mysterious ways. That means they had a conversation, right? But Stefanski is on the record and saying, with Cleveland media, that he wants Dylan Gabriel. So he also is playing in Shedeur's face. So Shedeur is coming to an understanding. Yeah, my faith got to be strong, right, to get through this. And he going to eventually get the answer on why this is happening. And it has nothing to do with his father. And I'm not sure Shedeur has ever dealt with this kind of racism in his life, right? He grew up wealthy, and although being black and wealthy does not shield you from racism, the places that you go and the environments that you're in and the people that are curated around you generally is what protects you till you get out there on your own, like Shedeur did in the NFL draft. So we're going to get out of here. This was awesome. Over 200 of us. Hit the like button. Thank you. I guess I'll see y'all back here. Hopefully, y'all will join us. It's the weekend. I don't know what they do. It's day 1 for training camp. So, they're probably getting ready to do their little weightlifting and getting ready to bond and know each other. So if any breaking news happens, that's noteworthy, I'll come back. Otherwise, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. I appreciate it. Hit the like button on your way out and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and become a member if you hang out with us all the time. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.